Hi all, welcome to a new webinar. Today we are going to discuss Odoo 18 payroll modules and features. I think my voice is clear and screen is visible. So let's wait some time, start in a few minutes. So I'm Subisha, Odoo functional consultant from Cybrosys Technologies, and I'm your host today. Before we dive into today's session, let me give you a brief introduction to our company, Cybrosys Technologies. Cybrosys is proud to be the world's largest contributor of Odoo apps. With over 16 years of experience in delivering innovative business solutions, we have built a strong reputation within the Odoo ecosystem. As an official Odoo partner, we specialize in delivering tailored ERP solutions that help businesses for all sizes streamline their operations and drive growth. Our global team of 300 plus professionals has successfully served more than 3,000 clients across 150 plus countries. Our commitment to quality and innovations is evident in 1 lakh plus downloads of our Odoo apps and the consistent positive feedback from our clients. We have also contributed significantly to the Odoo community by publishing over 50 books across different versions and creating blogs and learning resources that have benefited billions of users worldwide. With 24/7 support and dedicated services, we ensure our clients always have access to the expertise they need. At Cybrosys, our vision is clear to empower businesses through Odoo and lead the way in ERP innovations. Then, why Odoo? Odoo ERP is a comprehensive, all-in-one business management solution designed to support growth, efficiency, and digital transformation. This modular architecture allows companies to implement only what they need, whether that is sales, inventory, accounting, CRM, manufacturing, e-commerce, or HR, and expand as their operative involves. This flexibility makes Odoo a strategic fit for both SMEs and large enterprises. From a business standpoint, Odoo simplifies the operations by integrating all key departments into a single, unified system that eliminates the inefficiencies and data silos that come with managing multiple disconnected tools. The result is greater visibility, improved coordination, and more informed decision making. Odoo's intuitive, user-friendly interface accelerates the onboarding and minimizing the need for extensive training, helping organizations reducing cost and speed up adoptions. As an open source platform, Odoo offers full customization and scalability without the heavy cost typically associated with traditional ERP systems. Business can tailor workflows, reports, and user roles to match their exact needs with the vendor lock-in. Backed by a global community of developers and partners, Odoo continuously evolves. With frequent versions upgrades, such as recent enhancement in Odoo 18, business benefit from ongoing innovations and new features aligned with market trends. Cost efficiency is another key advantage. Compared to other ERP systems, Odoo provides exceptional values through transparent pricing models and the option of open source deployment. In summary, Odoo enables business to streamline processes, reduces operational overhead, and scale with confidence, making it a compelling ERP choice for organizations focused on sustainable growth and operational excellence. So, the main aim of this webinar is to dive into the payroll module of Odoo 18. With the latest updates of Odoo 18, payroll management has become more streamlined, automated, and user friendly than ever before. In this session, we will explore how businesses can simplify salary computation and the integrated payroll seamlessly with HR, attendances, and accounting, all within a single platform. Whether you are managing a small team or a large workforce, Odoo 18 offers the tools to run payroll efficiently and accurately, saving time and reducing administrative burden. In this webinar, we are going through the payroll application dashboard, configuring salary structures, configuring salary rules, configuring working schedules, generating payroll work accounting entries, salary attachments, batch payslip generation, and payroll reports. So, the payroll module in Odoo 18 is designed to streamline the employee salary processing by automating payslip generations, tax calculations, and statutory deductions. It seamlessly integrates with the employee's attendance and the time of modules to ensure the accurate payroll computation. HR managers can define salary structures, contract, working entries, and manage salary attachments like loans or child support. Additionally, the module provides detailed payroll reporting and batch processing features to enhance the efficiency and compliances. The main topics are employee contract. In Odoo 18 payroll, the employee contract captures all essential employment details such as job position, salary, working hours, contract type, and the duration. It forms a basic for payroll calculations by linking with salary structures, work entries, and attendance data. Contract can define specific rules for components like bonuses, allowances, deductions, and time of entitlements. The system allows tracking of contract status, renewal, and history for better HR management. These contracts also enable automated payslip generation and ensure compliances with labor and tax regulations. Salary structures. Salary structures and salary rules are the important component of Odoo 18 payroll module. In Odoo 18 payroll, salary structures define how an employee's total compensation is calculated by grouping multiple salary rules. Each structure can be assigned to specific employee contract and tailored to different job roles or departments. Salary rules within a structure govern individual components like basic pay, allowances, deductions, taxes, and contributions. These rules are formula based and can include conditions, Python code, and references to employee or contract field for dynamic calculations. Together, salary structures and rules ensure accurate, consistent, and customizable payroll processing across the organization. Salary attachments. Salary attachments in Odoo 18 payroll module are used to manage legal or court mandate deductions from the employee's salary, such as child support or loan repayment. These attachments are linked to individual employees and specify the type, amount, and duration of the deduction. This system automatically includes these deductions in the payroll computation during payslip generation. HR managers can track, modify, or close attachment as needed, ensuring compliances with external obligations. These features help organizations handle sensitive financial deductions accurately and transparently. Work entries. Work entries in Odoo 18 payroll module represent the actual work to days, time off, and other attendance related data used for accurate payroll calculations. These entries are automatically generated based on employee attendances, time off, and work schedules defined in their contract. Each work entry is categorized such as regular work, paid leaves, or sick leave and directly impact the payslip values. HR managers can validate, adjust, or reject work entries before payroll processing to ensure accuracy. This system ensures that salary computation reflect the employee's real attendance and entitlements, reducing errors and manual interventions. Payroll entries. The payroll entries in Odoo 18 payroll modules are accounting journal entries automatically generated from validated payslip. They feature or this record salary expenses, taxes, and other payroll related liabilities in the general ledger. This ensures accurate financial reporting and seamless integration between HR and accounting functions. Payslip batches, which allow the HR managers to generate and manage multiple employee payslip at once for a specific period. This feature is particularly useful for processing salaries in bulk, ensuring consistency and saving time. Once a batch is confirmed, all included payslips are validated and can be posted together for accounting integrations. Deferred time off. Deferred time off in Odoo 18 payroll module allows the insured or unused employee leave to be carried forward to future period based on company policies. It ensures the accurate tracking and usage of leave balances across payroll cycles. The system automatically updates work entries and payroll calculations to reflect the deferred leaves. Payroll reporting. In payroll reporting, the payroll module offers comprehensive tools to analyze the monitor and the payroll activities within an organization. It includes detailed report on payslip, employee cost, tax withholding, social contributions, and salary rule distributions. These reports can be filtered by time period, department, or individual employees for targeted insight. Integrated with accounting, the reports help ensure financial accuracy and compliances with regulatory requirements. Customizable and exportable payroll reports support decision making and streamline audits and internal reviews. So let's check some payroll configurations. Here in our company, there are 3 different departments: management or administration department, training and development department, and the faculty management. In the management or administrative department, the employees are permanent employees, so their contract type is given as permanent. Their working hours are standard 40 hours per week. And the work entry source, which define the source for work entry generation, and there are 3 types based on working schedule, attendances, and planning. For the permanent employees, the work entry type is chosen based on the working schedule. And the wage type is fixed wage. The second department is training and development department, and which is for the trainees or the interns. Their working time is 40 hours per week and their contract type is interns. The work entry source is based on planning and the wage type is fixed wage. And the third department is faculty department, and this is the department for cleaning and helping staffs in the company. They have flexible working hours and they just have 20 hours per week. Contract type is seasonal and work entry source is based on attendance, and their wage type is hourly wage. So let's check the salary structures for each department separately. The first case is salary structures for management or administration department. Here we can see the monthly basic and the basic. The basic salary is the employee's monthly basic wage which we added inside the contract, and the monthly basic is the given basic salary. And here we can see the allowances are HR allowance, medical allowance, travel allowance, meal voucher and expense reimbursement. The gross salary or the taxable salary is calculated based on the monthly basic and the allowances. And here we can see the deductions are provident fund, employee state insurance or ESI, tax deduction, fine on additional leave, insurance deduction and loan amount deductions. Here the PF, ESI and tax deductions are calculated based on the basic salary. And here the last one is net salary, which is the sum of taxable salary and the deduction. So let's check some rules. Here the basic pay is given as 50,000 and the monthly basic salary is same as the basic pay. The allowances, HR allowance or the house rent allowance is calculated based on 5% of basic pay. Medical allowances is fixed amount, which means $100. Travel allowance, which is also a fixed amount, $250. Meal voucher is based on the working days and $5 per working days and have some expense reimbursement. Here the gross salary is calculated monthly basic plus allowances. The deductions are PF, which is 5% of basic pay, ESI, which is 3.5% of basic pay. The tax is also calculated based on the basic pay and the basic pay is less than or equal to 25,000, then 5% of basic pay. If the basic pay is less than or equal to 50,000, then 8% of basic pay. Basic pay is less than or equal to 18,000, then 10% of basic pay, else 15% of basic pay. And here we can see the fine, which is for the additional leaves, which means if the total number of leave is greater than 5, then $2 per leave will deducted from the salary. And here we can see the employee have insurance $10 per month. And he also have a loan amount deduction, which is per month $100. The net salary is calculated by adding gross salary and deductions. So let's check how this salary rules are configured and how the payslip is calculated. For that, let me move to the Odoo. So let's start by creating a new employee. For that, I'm moving to the employees module. So this is the employees module. Here we can see an employee named as Adam John. Let me open this employee. So I'm choosing this particular employee. Here we can see the details like work emails, work phone number, mobile number, department, job position, etc. of the employee. And here we can see under resume tab, here we can add the resume or here we can add the skills of the employee. And here we can mention the manager and the coach as Michelle admin. Under work information, we can mention the work address, work location, time of approvers for the time of timesheet and the attendance. Select the user responsible for approving this time of this employee. If we leave it as empty, then the approval is done by the administrator or the approver, which we determine in settings. And here we can see the attendance. The user set in this attendance will access the attendance of the employee through the dedicated app and will be able to edit them. And here we can mention the working hours. Here I'm choosing standard 40 hours per week and the time zone, role, default role in planning, etc. Then here we can see the badges received by this employee here and the private informations like private address, private email and other bank account details, work home distance like that. And here also we can mention the citizenship details like nationality, identification numbers, etc. here. And the next tab is for payroll. Here we can mention the payroll or the W2, W forms, etc. Like that, I'm currently not adding such details. And inside the settings, here we can see the employee type as employee. And here we can add the related user. Related user is nothing but we can create a user for this particular employee. Only the users can log into the Odoo like that. And here we can see the application settings like hourly cost of the employee, PIN code and badge ID for the adding attendance or point of sale access like that. After adding such details, we can save this particular employee. So the employee is created here. The next step is adding contract for the employee. We can create an employee contract directly from the Smart Tab contract, or here we can see the contracts. Here we can add the employee contracts. Currently, I'm creating a new contract from here, and I'm adding the name as Adam John's contract. And here we can see the employee name is Adam John and contract date is currently set as the current date. I'm changing it to July 1st. And here we can see the contract end date. If you want to specify the contract end date, we can specify here. Here we can see the working schedule and the work entry source for this particular employee. I'm choosing the work entry source as working schedule. And here we can choose the department. I'm adding the department as manager administration and the job position as consultant. And the contract type as permanent. And here we can see the salary informations. This wage type is fixed wage. Schedule pay is monthly and the wage is given as 50,000 per month. Then I'm changing or saving the settings, and here we can see the contract is in new stage. We can change it to running stage. So the Adam John's contract is in running stage. From the contracts, we can see the contract based on status. Let me open the running. So here we can see the contract which we created. So this is how the employee and the contract are created. Then let's check how to configure the salary rules. For that, I'm moving to the payroll module. And here we can see this is the payroll module and this is the payroll dashboard. Here we can see the warning, batches, notes, employer cost, etc. And from the work entries, while choosing the work entries, here we can see this is the work entries currently, which is filter based on conflicting. I'm removing this one, and here we can see all the employees and their work entries. Let's filter it based on the created employee, Adam John, and here we can see the work entries are created from July 1st to July 31st. This is because we choose the work entry source as working schedule. That's why the work entries are created here. Then let's check the salary rule configuration. For that, I'm choosing or clicking on the configuration button. Here we can see there are options like work entry types, working schedules, structure type, structure, rules, rule parameter, other input, warning, etc. While opening the structures, here we can see these all are the salary structures which is already created. I'm unfolding this employee, and here we can see the structure type named employee. This is the one which I'm choosing for to calculate the payroll of Adam John. Here we can see the structure name. Here we can see the structure name, type chosen as employee, and use worked days lines. Then the worked days will be shown in the input-output lines. And here we can see the country, template, payslip name, hide basic on PDF, default schedule pay, and salary journal, etc. Then here we can see these all are the salary rules which are already configured. Let's check the salary rules first. So here the first one is basic salary. Let me open this. Here we can see the rule name is the rule name which is basic salary and the category is basic. Here we can see there are a lot of categories like allowance, taxable salary, deduction, net, company contribution, etc. And the code is given as basic. Sequence number is 1. Sequence is nothing but which is used to arrange the calculation space. And here we can see the salary structure is employee and the active button is enabled. Let's check how the rules are configured or the basic pay is calculated. Here the condition based on is always true. There are options like range, other input, Python expression, etc. And here we can see the computation. We can choose Python code, percentage, fixed amount, other input, etc. Here I am choosing the Python code and the result equal to contract.wage, which means the wage which we added inside the contract will be shown as the basic pay. Then let's save this. Here the second one is allowance, which is house rent allowance. I'll open this. Here we can see the house rent allowance under the category allowances. And here we can see the code is HRA and the sequence number is 3. Let's check this. Here the HR allowance is 5% of basic salary. So here adding result equal to contract.wage into 0.05, which means 5% of contract.wage, 5% of basic salary. Let me save this. And here the next one is medical allowance. Medical allowance is $100 fixed per month. So here the amount type is chosen as fixed amount and the quantity is 1 and the fixed amount is given as 100. Then the next allowance is travel allowance, which is also a fixed amount, $250 per month. Here we can see the fixed amount is $250 per month is given here. And the next one is meal voucher. Meal voucher means which is given based on the worked days. So per day $5. Here the computation or the condition is based on always true, and here we can see the computation based on Python code, and the Python code is given as result equal to worked days, work 100, number of days into 5, which means this is by using this code we are calling the total worked days, and which into 5 means how much the based on the worked days $5 per day, which means if the worked days is 10, then 10 into 5 will taken as the meal voucher amount. And the next one is reimbursement. Reimbursement means which is used to give the expense or which is used to reimburse the expense amount to the employee, like that. And here we can see the Python condition result equal to reimbursement in inputs. And here we can see the taxable salary. These all are the allowances given, and the taxable salary means which is the gross salary. While open this, here we can see the category is taxable salary and the code is given as gross salary. The sequence is 10, and let's check the computation. Here we can see categories basic plus categories allowances, which means gross salary means which is the sum of basic salary and allowances. So that's why the result equal to categories basic plus categories allowances given here. Then let's check the deductions. The first deduction is PF, which means Provident Fund, which is calculated as the 5% of basic salary. So here we can see the rule name is Provident Fund and the category is deduction. Here the code is given as PF and the sequence is 15. And here we can see, so there is a condition applied that if the employee's salary is minimum 50,000, then he get then this deduction will apply on the salary only if the minimum range of the basic pay is 50,000, then this deduction will apply, which means if the employee's salary is below 50,000, then there is no PF deduction in his salary. So here we can see we set the condition based on range, and here the range based on contract.wage, which means the basic salary. Minimum range is set as 50,000, which means if the minimum basic pay is 50,000, then the result equal to minus contract wage into 2%, which means here we can see I'm changing this to 0.05, which means 5%. If the minimum basic pay is 50,000, then basic pay into 5% will deducted as PF. Let me save this, and here we can see next deduction is ESI, and here we can see the rule named as ESI, and the category is deduction, code is given as ESI. Then let's check the ESI, which is 3.5% of basic salary. So here also we given the or we choose the amount type as percentage, and here we given the percentage based on contract or wage. Quantity is 1, and here we can see 3.5%, which is given in minus because which is a deduction. So let me save this, and the next one is tax. Here we are applying some conditions. Here we can see the rule name is tax and the category is deduction. Let's check the tax computation. Here we can see the amount type is chosen based on the Python code. Here we can see X equal to contract.wage, which means X equal to basic salary. So we are comparing the basic salary, or the comparing with the basic salary. If the basic salary is less than or equal to 25,000, then basic salary into 5% will be deducted as tax. Then if the basic salary is greater than or equal to 50,000, then basic salary into 8% will be deducted as tax. If the basic salary is greater than or equal to 80,000, then the 10% of the basic salary will be deducted as tax, else 50% will be deducted as tax. So this is the Python code which we used. And here we can see leave fine. The leave fine means that if the total number of leave is greater than 5, then $2 per leave will be deducted as fine. So here we can see we are applying another category which is fine here. Then here we can see the code is given as LF and the sequence is 80. Then here we can see the Python code given. Leave days is equal to this code will used for adding the total leaves like paid leave, sick leave, unpaid leave, etc. Then here we can see if the leave days, which means if the total leave days is greater than 2, then result equal to leave days into 2. Else result equal to 0. Which means if we are comparing this leave days, if the leave days is greater than 5, then per leave $2 will be deducted. Then let me save this. And here we can see there are some salary attachment of salary, assignment of salaries, child support are here, and there is also deduction. These all are the salary attachments. And here we can see the last one is net salary, and while checking the rule named as net salary and category is net, code is given as net also. And here we can see the salary rule is here, result equal to categories basic plus categories allowance plus categories deduction, which means it is the sum of basic, categories and deductions. So these are the computation for the net salary, and here we can see the salary rule is configured. So let me save this. Then let's check how it's work. So before calculating the payslip, let's go to the time off module to add some time off. So here we can see this is the time off module. In Odoo, the time off refers to the management of employees' absence, approvals, allocations, and reporting related to the vacation, sick leave, and other forms of leave. The time off module centralizes the all time off related information, allowing employees to request time off, managers to approve the request, and HR to manage the allocations and reporting, etc. So here we can see under configuration, there are time off types. Then here we can see these all are the time off type: paid leave, sick leave, unpaid leave, compensatory leave, extra hour, training time off, etc. And here we can see there is a paid time off. Let's open this. Here we can see which requires allocation, which means the HR manager need to allocate the leave. So let me add a new allocation. I'm creating the allocation for the paid leave, and I'm choosing the employee Adam John here, and this is regular allocation, and I'm choosing the allocation from 6 to 5 days 10, which is 5 days, and let me approve this. This takes some time. It's in loading. Let's wait. So it is approved now. Then let's check the users. Inside the settings, here we can see users and company. Then let me open the user. Here we can see Adam John, which is a related user of the created employee. Then let's log out from admin, and then here we can see Adam John. Let me open this, and I'm adding the email ID and password. Then login. So now the login employee is Adam John. Let me open, let me open the time off module, and here we can see under my time, here we can see my allocation. So here we can see there are 5 days allocated for time off, paid time off. To request time off, let me open the my time off, and here we can see the time off type is chosen as paid time off, and I'm adding the days from 6 to 10, 4 days. 4 days. Let me save this. So which is in to approve state currently. I'm requesting for one another, which is unpaid leave, and I'm adding the date from 14 to 15, which means 16 hours, 2 days, which means 16 hours. And let me see this. So 2 time of request are here. So here we can see paid time of 4 days and unpaid time of 2 days. Let's log out from this and log in as Michelle admin again. Then move to the time off module. Time off. Under management, here we can see the time off. No, here we can see there are 2 time off in to approve stage. And let's validate this. So which is approved. There are one more. Let me approve this and validate. So the time off is approved. Let's go to the employees and open the add-on jar here and time off. In July month, here we can see the time off is approved. The first one is paid time off and the second one is unpaid time off. Then let's move to add some expense. In Odoo, the expense reimbursement refers to the process of refunding employees' cost that they spent while working on behalf of the company. This typically involves employees submitting expenses report with supporting documents like receipts for purchases made for the company related activities, which are then reviewed and approved by a manager. Then the company reimburses the employee for the approved expenses either through a separate payment or by including the reimbursement in the employee's next payslip. So for that, let's open the expense module. And under configuration settings, we need to enable the reimbursement in Payslip option. After that, let me log out from admin. Then we should log in as Adam John or the employee. Go to the expense module. Then let me add a new expense as expense and category is expense. And here we can see the unit price is $500, quantity is 1, then total is 500. I'm removing the tags and here we can see paid by employee. Expense date, I'm changing it to the previous month or July 2nd, like that. And let me create a report. Then we should submit to the manager. So this is in submitted stage. Let's log out from the Adam John and log in as Michelle admin. Log in as admin here. And moving to the expense module. When checking the expense report, here we can see the expense report submitted by Adam John. And here we can approve this. Actually, the admin have two options. He can either approve or reject the expense. So here the expense is approved by the admin. Then click on report in next payslip. Then this expense will automatically add to the next payslip created for the employee Adam John. We have an option to remove it from the payslip. Then let's move to the payroll module. Under configuration settings, we have option to enable the post entries. If the post payroll entry is enabled, then we can post the payroll slips in accounting. After enabling this, while checking the rules, go to the salary structure again and open the net salary. And here we can see the accounting tab and we can add the debit account and credit account here. Here the debit account is salary expenses and the credit account is salary payable. After saving this, now all the configurations are completed. Let's check how the payslip is created or computed. For that, let's open the payslips and click on to pay. So before calculating the payslip, I forgot to add something which is salary attachment. So we can add salary attachment from here. We need to add one insurance and loan deduction for the employee. So I'm creating a new salary attachment for Adam John. And here we can choose or we can add the description as insurance. And I'm choosing, here we can choose attachment of salary, assignment of salary or child support. Here I'm choosing it as child support. And here we need to choose the start date. I'm setting it as July 1st. And there is no end date. And we need to add the payslip amount. I add it as 10. So which means $10 per $10 per month. Let's save this. Then here we can see which is in running stage, and let's create a new one for the same employee. And I'm choosing or adding the description as loan and choosing the type as attachment of salary. And here we can see the total amount. I'm adding the total amount as 1 lakh or something, and the payslip amount as 100. And here we can see the start date and the end date. Our estimate end date is automatically updated here. And here we can see the occurrences or the occurrences also shown here. Let me save this, and here we can see which is in running stage. So let's move to calculate the payslip, and let's create a new payslip. And I'm adding the same employee here, and here we can see the contract and changing the structure to employee. And here we can see the worked days. Under worked days, the unpaid leave, 2 days of unpaid leave and 5 days of paid time off is updated here. And here also we can see the attendances, and here we can see the total working days and the number of hours or the total number of hours worked and the amount. Here the amount is taken from the contract. And here we can see inside the other input, the first one is expense reimbursement, which means the expense we added for $500. And here we can see the salary attachment or the salary attachment for loan and insurance is also updated here. So after adding such details, let's compute the salary. Here we can see nothing is in the salary computation tab. So we can click on this compute sheet to check the salary computations. So after clicking on the compute button, let's check the salary computation. Here we can see under salary computations, here the values are updated based on the salary rules. Let's check each one separately. For that, here the first one is basic salary. Here we can see the basic salary is 50,000, which is the same amount we mentioned inside the contract. Then the next one is house rent allowance. Here the house rent allowance is set as 5% of basic pay. Let's check the calculation. 5% of 50,000, which is 2,500. Here we can see 2,500 is added as HR allowance. Then medical allowance is $100 fixed, and the travel allowance is also $250 fixed. Here we can see the meal voucher, which is 65. So as the meal voucher, we are given inside the rule or the condition given inside the rule is $5 per working days. Here we can see the total working days is 13 days. So while checking, here we can see 13 into 5, which is equal to 65. So 65 is added as the meal voucher expense. Then we added a 500 as expense. So the 500 is updated here. Then let's check the gross pay. Gross pay is actually the sum of allowances plus basic. So let's check the calculation. The allowance basic is 50,000 and the HR allowance is 2,500. Medical allowance is $100 and the travel allowance is $250 plus meal voucher is $65 plus expense reimbursement is $500. So here we can see the gross pay amount is same as the calculated value. So this is about the allowances and basic. Then let's check the deductions. Here we can see the provident fund is the first deduction. We given a range, if the minimum range is 50,000, then the PF will calculate. So here we are given the provident fund deduction. Here we can see the provident fund is actually the provident fund is 5% of basic salary, which means which we already calculated. The 5% of basic is 2,500, which is a deduction. That why here we can see minus 2,500, and the ESI is 3.5% of basic. 3.5% of basic 50,000. Here we can see 1,750, which is deducted as ESI, and the tax we given the tax condition as per the condition. So, as per the condition, we are giving if the basic salary is greater than or equal to 50,000, then the tax deduction is 8% of the basic pay. Let's check the 8% of the basic pay. 8% of 15,000 is equal to 4,000. Here we can see 4,000 is deducted as the tax. Then the leave fine, if the total number of leave is greater than 5, then $2 per leave. Here we can see the total leave is shown here. Here we can see unpaid leave, 2 days of unpaid leave and 5 days of paid time off, which means total 7 days. So 7 into 2 is equal to 14. So the 14 is deducted as leave fine, and loan amount, we added a loan amount of $100 and insurance as $10. So that's why here we can see the total is shown here. Then let's calculate the net salary. So the net salary is actually the sum of basic, gross and deductions. Let's check the calculation. Here we can see allowances are 5314 5 plus or minus the deductions 2,500 minus 1,750 minus 4,000 minus 14 minus 100 minus 10. So here we can see the net salary is shown as the same amount. This is how the salary computation works. Then let's check here we can see the salary attachments created, and here we can see the work entries created. And after computing the salary, let's create a draft entry by clicking on this create entry. Click the OK button, and here we can see the draft journal entry is created. Here we can see the two accounts. One is salary expense account and salary payable account. We given the salary expense account, so which is debited here, because the salary expense account is an expense account. Here the expense is increasing, that's why the amount is credited. And salary payable account is current liability, and the liability also increases, that's why the account is credited. Let's click on the post button. Here we can see the journal entry is posted now. Let's move back to the payslip, and here we can see we can create a payment report by clicking on this create payment report, and we can pay it by clicking on the pay button. And let's click on the mark as paid button. Now the salary is in paid status. So this is how we are creating or we are computing a payslip for the employees. The second section is salary structure for training and development department. In a context of a company, trainees are the individuals who are employed to learn a skills and knowledge necessary for a specific job or profession through a structured training program, often receiving stipend instead of the full salary. So here we can also see the basic pay, monthly pay, allowances like HR allowance, travel allowance, meal voucher, and there are deductions, tax deduction and other deduction. Here the other deduction is considered as fine or something which is not mandatory. And here we can see the gross salary is calculated by adding monthly basic and allowances, and the net salary is calculated by adding taxable salary and deductions. Here is the salary rules. For a trainee, the basic pay is 50,000 and the monthly basic salary is calculated based on the working days. The allowances are HR allowance, which is calculated as the 2.5% of basic pay, travel allowance, which is $230 per month. Meal vouchers are based on working days and for a working day, $5. Expense reimbursement is also added, which is not mandatory. And the deductions are, there is a tax deduction which is 2% of basic pay. And there is a fine if the total number of leave is greater than 2, then $5 per leave will deduct. And here we can see the gross salary is the sum of monthly basic and allowances, and the net salary is the sum of gross salary and deduction. So let's check the salary computation of a trainee. So let's check the salary structure for the trainees. For that, I'm choosing the employee module again, and here we can see there is an employee named as Anna. Let me open the employee. Here we can see the title is Anna, and here the department is chosen as training and development. Manager, coach, details are added here. There is no related user, which means the employee can't log in as a user just because this is a training. And here we can see the contract. Here we can see the contract start date and end date. The salary structure, department details are given here. Here the work entry source is given as planning. So the salary will be calculated based on the planning, or the work entries will be created based on the planning. Here we can see the wage type is fixed wage and scheduled pay is monthly. And here we can see 50,000 per month is given as wage. So here the contract is in running stage. Let's move to the payroll module for checking. Here in the payroll module, let me check the work entries first. Removing the conflict and checking for Anna. Here we can see there is no work entries are created. So let's check the rules created for the trainees. For that, I'm moving to the salary structure. And let me open trainees. Here we can see this is the salary structure, and here we can see the records. Here the type is trainees and other details are added. Let's check each rule separately. Here we can see the first rule is basic salary, and here we can see which is for contract or wage, which means the same amount which we added inside the contract will be displayed as the basic salary. And here we can see the second one is monthly basic. Monthly basic is the actual basic salary given to the trainees. So here we can see which is based on the number of working days. Here the contract not wage divided by 23 means the salary for 1 day, which means the contract or wage is the basic salary, which is 50,000. Then 50,000 is the monthly salary. So to get that salary for 1 day, we need to divide it by total working days, which is 23. So here we can see the monthly salary will be calculated based on the total number of working days into salary of 1 day. This is why the monthly salary calculated. Then the next one is HR allowance. Here the HR allowance is given as 2.5% of the basic salary. Let's check it. So here we can see result equal to contract dot wage into 2.5%. Then the next one is transport allowance. Here we can see the transport allowance, which is given as fixed amount $230. Next one is meal voucher, which is also calculated based on the working days. Here we can see the computation is fixed amount and the quantity is given as working days, and fixed amount is $5, which means total working days into 5 days is added as the meal voucher amount. Next one is taxable salary. Here we can see the taxable salary is the gross salary, which is the sum of allowances plus monthly basic salary, MS. And here we can see the deductions. The first deduction is leave fine, which means there is a difference here. Here we can see, which is calculated based on only unpaid leaves. If the unpaid leave is greater than 2, then the result will be number of leaves into 5, which means $5 per leave will be deducted. Then the next one is deduction. If there is any deduction, we can use this rule, and here we can see the reimbursement rule is also here. And the net salary will be calculated based on the sum of or the net salary is the sum of categories allowance, deduction and monthly salary. So this is the salary structure created for the trainees. Let's save this and let's move to the planning module. This is because we need to add some or we need to schedule some planning for the employees. For that, let me move to the planning module. Here we can see this is the planning module, and this is here the dashboard is shown scheduled by resources. We can add new planning by clicking on this new button. So here we can choose, or we can directly choose the shift, and we can add the resource name here, and we can add date, time, allocated time, etc. For an example, here I am created a sheet. Here we can see the resource is Anna and the role is developer, and here we can see the start date and end date is also added here. We can simply import this sheet to the Odoo. Let me see how it's work. For that, we need to choose the list view, and under action button, here we have an option to import records. Click on it. Then we need to click on this upload data files. Then we need to choose the sheet and click on the open button. Here we can see the resource, role, start date, end date are shown here. Let me test it first. So here we can see everything seems valid. Then let me import the data. So here we can see 14 records are imported successfully. Then let me check the data. So here we can see these all are the data created. Let me check the work entries. For that, I'm moving to the payroll module and check the work entries, removing the conflict and add Anna. So here we can see there is no work entries are created. This is because we just add the planning, but which is not published yet. So we need to publish the schedule first. For that, we can click, or we need to select everyone. Then just click on publish and send button. So here we can see the shift have successfully been published and sent, which means all the shifts are published. Then let me move back to the payroll module and click on the work entries and choose the work entries, removing conflicting and search on the basis of employee Anna. So here we can see the work entries are created here. This is because inside the contract, we set the work entry resource as planning. So after publishing a planning, the corresponding or the respected work entries will be created here. Then let's move to the time off module for adding some time off. This time the HR will add the time off for this employee. For that, I'm moving to the time off and choosing the unpaid leave. Add a time off. Click on the new button. Here we can see there is the time off for, and let me add the employee Anna, and here let me choose the date. Here I'm choosing the date as 28 to 28. So here we can see the requested days is 1 day, and this is the time off. Let me click on the approve button. So the time off is approved. Then move back to the payroll module again. Then let's create the payslip for the employee Anna. And here we need to choose the structure as trainees. And here we can see the attendance is added here and there is no other input. If you want to add some deduction, you can add the deduction and I'm adding 1. Then here we can see the number of working days is 15 and number of working hours are added. Then let me check the time off once again. And under time of types, unpaid leaves, let me check the unpaid leaves. Yes, this is suppose the second approval. Let me validate this. Now the time off is taken. Then move back to the payroll module again. And let me create one more payslip for Anna. And here we can see the structure is chosen trainees. And here we can see the unpaid leave 1 day. So let me add one more unpaid leave for time off. I'm adding one more unpaid leave for Anna and new Anna. Okay. This time I'm changing the date to 28 to 31. Let me apply this. Then here we can see which is 3 days. Approve and validate. Then move back to the payroll module and let me create one more payslip for Anna and structure trainees. Okay, here we can see there are 4 unpaid leaves and let me add once more the deduction as $1. So let's click the compute button or compute sheet button to compute the salary. So here the salary is computed. Let me check it. Here we can see under salary computation. This is a computed salary. Let's check each line separately. Here we can see there are 14 plannings are here. And let me check the monthly basic salary, which is 15,000, which we added inside the contract. And here we can see the monthly basic salary. The monthly basic salary is depend upon the number of working days. Basic divided by 23 into, which means, let me calculate it. Here the monthly salary is 15,000 divided by 23. So this is the salary per day. Then this into number of working days. Let me check the number of working days here. Here this is the number of working days, which is here we can see 15.75. 15.75. So here we can see under salary computation, here we can see this is the value of monthly basic pay, and here we can see the HR allowance, which is basic into 2.5%. So here the basic salary is 15,000 into 2.5% is given as 375. And here we can see the travel allowance, which is a fixed amount, $230. And here we can see the meal voucher is number of working days into 5. So here the number of working days, again, here we can see the number of working days is 15.75. 15.75 into 5. So 78.75. Here we can see the meal voucher is 78.75. Then let me check the next one, which is gross pay. Gross pay is the taxable salary, which is the sum of monthly basic plus allowances. So here the first the monthly basic is meal voucher is 78.75 plus, let me add the transport allowance $230 plus 375 as HR allowance. Then we need to add the monthly basic 0.74. So here we can see the gross pay. Then let's check the deductions too. Here the first deduction is tax deduction, which is 2% of basic pay. Let me check the 2% of basic pay here. We can see 300, which is deducted as tax. And the next one is leave fine. Leave fine means if the leave is greater than or the paid leave is greater than 2, then $5 per leave. Then let me check the leaves. Here we can see there are 4 unpaid leaves, which means there are 2 additional unpaid leaves. Then let's check. There are 20, which means 4 into 5, which is $20. So the leave fine is $20. Then here we can see the deduction. We added $1 deduction. So this $1 is also deducted here. So this is how the basic allowances, gross pay and the deductions will calculate. Then let's find out the net salary. So to calculate the net salary, we need to add the monthly basic allowances, then deductions. This is how we get the net salary. Then after that, we need to create the draft entry first. Then let me create the draft entry. Then here we can see the journal entries. Here we can see the expense account. The expense is increases, so the expense account is debited, and the salary payable is current liability, which is also increases, so the account is credited. Then let's post the entry first. Then we can click mark as paid. This is how we calculate the salary structure or the salary computation of trainees. The third department is Faculty Management Department. So let's check the salary structure for the Faculty Management Department. Faculty Management Services encompasses the processes and the support functions needed to maintain a company's physical environment and ensure it efficiently support its operations. A faculty employees are the responsible for keeping buildings properly maintained, clean and safe. So let's check the salary. Over here we can see the basic pay, monthly basic pay. There are 2 allowances. One is travel allowance and meal voucher. There is no deduction on their salary. So here the taxable salary is calculated as the sum of basic salary and allowances. Net salary is actually the sum of taxable salary and deduction. There is no deduction. So here the net salary is equal to the taxable salary. Let's check some salary rules. Here the basic pay is $100 per hour and the monthly basic salary is calculated based on the working hours. Here we can see per hour $100 is given, and here we can see the allowances are travel allowances, which is $10 per working days, and the meal voucher here we can see $280 fixed per month. Gross salary is the sum of monthly basic and allowances, and net salary is gross salary plus deduction, which means in this case which is equal to the gross salary. So let's configure new employee salary rules and let's compute the payslip. For checking the salary configuration for a faculty management staff, I'm going to the employee module, and here I'm created a employee named staff. Here we can see this is the employee, and here we can see the details are added here, and the manager I'm setting as Michelle admin, and job position as maintenance technician or like that, and department as faculty management. And let's check the work information tab. Here we can see the working hours. Working hours is set as flexible 20 hours per week. Then let's move to the contract. Here is contract start date is July 1st. And here we can see the working schedule is flexible 20 hours per week. And the work entry source is based on attendance. Here the salary structure, department, job position, contract type are given there. And under the salary information, here we can see the wage type is fixed wage, and scheduled pay is also month and changing to hourly wage. And here we can see the wage type is hourly, scheduled pay is monthly, and hourly wage is 100 per hours. Let me save this. While checking, the contract is in running stage. let's go to the payroll module and check the work entries. I'm removing the conflicting filter and let me search based on staff. Here we can see there is no work entry created for the employee staff. So here we can see there is no work entries are created here. If we add attendances, then based on that attendance, the work entries will be generated here. So let's go to set the rules and other configuration. So for the employee, let's add some attendances. For that, move to the attendance module and let's click on the make it list view and let's upload or import some records. Uploading file and I'm searching for attendances. So here we can see this is the check-in time and check-out time for the employee staff. Then let me upload this file. Let me test it. So everything seems valid and import the file. So 18 records are successfully imported. And if I'm searching for the employee staff, here we can see the attendances for the employee staff is added. Then let's move to the payroll module and create some salary rules or structure. Here already created one named as staff and let me open this. Here we can see this is the structure named as staff and the type is staff also. And here we can see the rules. There are some or few number of rules for the staffs. Here the first one is basic salary. Here the 92 is because we are giving there are 23 working days and the total working hour per one day is 4 hours. So the faculty staff should work 4 hours per day and there are 23 working days. So here we can see 92. That's why here the 92 is added. Then the next one is monthly basic. Monthly basic is the actual basic amount given to the staff. So which is calculated based on the working hours. Here this X equal to worked days work 100 number of hours means that total working hours which is equal to or the result equal to this into 100, which means total working hours into 100 is the monthly basic pay. Then here we can see travel allowance. The travel allowance was also given based on the number of working days. Here we can see the quantity is taken as working number of working days in then $10 fixed, which is based on the working days and the fixed amount is $10. Then here we can see the next one is meal voucher. Here the meal voucher is also given as a fixed amount and which is $280. And here we can see the taxable salary or the gross pay. So the gross pay is monthly basic salary plus allowances is given as gross pay. And here we can see a deduction. If we want to add some deductions on the staff, which is not mandatory in some cases or in some months, if there are any fine or something like that, we can add a deduction manually. I will show how it's work. And here we can see the net salary, which is the categories or monthly basic plus allowances plus deduction. This is how the salary are configured. Then let's check the work entries created for the staff. For that I am checking the work entries for staff. Here we can see the work entries are created. There are few work entries are created. Then let's calculate the payslip. Click on the to pay and I am adding a new payslip for the staff. Here we can see the contract is added, staff contract, and choosing the structure staff. So here we can see there are some overtime hours which is added based on the attendance we added. And here we can see the attendance. Total number of working days is 9 days. And here we can add some deductions. If I am adding a deduction amount 10, then this deduction will automatically deduct from the salary. Currently, I am not adding any deduction. So, let's compute the sheet. So, let's check the salary computations. Choose the salary computation tab, and here we can see the values are updated here. Let's check the calculation. For that, I am opening a calculator. Here we can see the basic pay. The basic pay is shown as 9,200. This is because we are adding a 9 into the value which we added inside the contract, and the value is $100. So, here we can see, 9, not 9, which is 92. 92 into 100. So, here we can see 9,200 is the basic salary, and monthly salary is calculated based on the worked hours. Per hour, we are adding $100. So, let's check the total working hours. Here we can see the total working hours is shown here. So, here we can see the total working hours is 76 hours, and here let's check the values. 76 into 100. So, 7,600 is the value which is added here. Then here we can see the transport allowance, which is also based on the worked days. Here we can see the total worked days is 19, and we added $10 fixed based on the total working days. So, 90 into 10, which is 190, is added as transport allowance. Here we can see the meal voucher is fixed $280, which is added here, and we are not adding any deductions. Then let's calculate the gross pay. Gross pay is monthly basic plus, which means 7,600 plus 190 plus 280. So, here we can see the gross pay is here, and let's see which is same as the net salary. So, as said before, we can create draft entries from here, and here we have option to post the journal entry. Here we can see the total attendances. So, let's open the journal entries. Here we can see salary expense account is debited and salary payable account is credited. Let's click the post button, and here we can see the entry is posted. Then we can click mark as paid. So, this is how the salary computation for the staff works. For more clarification, you can check our functional and technical videos and blogs. Odoo ERP support and maintenance is an integral service provided by Cybrosys. Our team will help you to identify the different kinds of technical issues which you face in your company and guide them with proper solution. So, you can contact us through WhatsApp or through email. Thank you.